Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Dwarf Fortress time once again as we get into part 3. So, we've just started digging down. They're going to start digging out all the little holes down there. I'm going to figure out. We need some barrels built in there, so let's get over to the carpenter's place. Q, A, and V is barrel. So, we could do with a bunch of those. So, just again, AV, AV, AV. Hammer the hell out of that. Why do we need barrels? Because you can see here, plump helmets starting to appear. We need to get those working out. We need to start brewing some drinks in here. So go Q and add task, extract from plant. Don't want to do that. I want to not extract from a plant because I wasn't looking while I was doing that. I want to brew a drink. I want to brew some drinks. Damn it. That's what we want to do. So let's get the plants on the go. I haven't actually put this on, did I? So I want pigtails in there. In the 2 seasons that I can use them, which is the summer and autumn. What can you do in there? What should I do? No, I'm not going to put anything on the winter. Completely leave it blank for that. Right, okay, so they're going to start digging out. Apparently eat your fill. There we go. It's just told you to be fat for Christmas. It's great. That's my game basically saving because I put it onto auto save and auto pause in the lazy noob pack options on the starter pack. So as soon as that sorts it out, let's get back into it. Right. So what's the next plan? We need to get some metal industry, some stone industry set up start with. So let's possibly set something up around about here. I want to kind of keep the same sort of layout all the way down. Just going to go down to about there. And I'll do the same up here. Down to about there. But they're not connected yet, so they're not going to do anything until I tell it to dig out those 2 chunks there. So that's going to start digging. We need to add thing ups. The problem is, because our miners are only they're proficient, something like that, the digging they're doing here takes longer, obviously. So the more skill they get, the faster they dig, the more rocks they leave behind, etc. Because you can see they're only leaving a couple of rocks while they're digging all this out. Not that many rocks are getting left behind. So they need to speed up, get a bit quicker. They always start from, I believe it's bottom to top. I'm not sure why. Excuse me. Starts out from bottom to top. Don't have a cough button here. That's what you guys see me reaching for every time if you watch the League of Legends cast. So, we got silver. That looks like Galena there. Yep, Galena. So that's silver. So we've got silver and iron. So it's pretty good stones. If we can get possibly some sort of flux stone, we can make steel. Andesite does not do that, nor does basalt. But it does make for pretty fortresses. So that's not too bad. That is a massive wave of stone there. As I've got hiccups. That's good. Massive wave of iron, sorry. See all this iron. So once our miners get much stronger. There you go, check this dude out. He's sleeping. This is when we need to get some beds for them. So I need to get my stone industry up and running so I can start some beds. This dude's brewing drinks. You see he comes in there, cooks himself up a drink. What I do need is actually a barrel area. So that is furniture, I believe. And I can plonk some barrels down here. So what I'm going to do is settings. All I did there again was P and furniture, U. So now I want to do the settings for it, Q and S. I want to basically remove the type. I want to forbid that and make it so it's only barrels. There we go. Actually, you could do rock pots as well. So if you search for rock pot, large pot, there we go, large pot food storage, you can have them as well. Wait, isn't there a sneaky option in furniture as well? No, that's not. That's good. So Apologies, choking up here. So there's a bunch of barrels being dumped down there. So they're all being pulled out. Beds have been made as well. And at the moment you can see they're just sat there in the workshop because I made a bunch of beds. And yet they've got nowhere to take them. So we also need to get some storage areas up and running as soon as possible. Okay. So my hunter has been getting stuff. I'm gonna also build, let's dig out another workshop here, and what we're gonna do is put a butcher in there, butcher and a butcher and a tanner. So basically the hunter will go kill some creature, take it down to the butcher. It's auto done, that one, auto processed, and then they'll do whatever you do to a dead animal, fillet it, do what you need to do, get all the meat, and then they can use the meats. As you can see, digging in stone takes a lot longer to do, so while they're doing that, we'll just have to keep you guys entertained somehow. Oh, that's interesting. So, because we've hit winter, turns out it's a pretty cold area. That's not just the hotel air conditioning blowing on me. It is freezing the lake, which gives me something to do. It is now an ice wall, and people can walk over it. This is not particularly a good thing for your dwarves. So, because what will happen is, when it unfreezes, they'll be walking over here nonchalantly over the lakes. Unfreezes, ice breaks. Well, you're always told as a kid, don't go on the ice, because there is a reason. Shit breaks, and then you're suddenly in freezing cold water and possibly dying, which is what happens to dwarves. So we need to change that. We need to set some orders. So O, set orders. Is it O? Set path I need to set up. Activity zone orders, I believe it is. Z. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. It is probably D, then O. Yes, there we go. D, O. So I want a restricted zone. So R, restricted zones. So you can see it on here now, restricted zone. Basically, we need to paint the area. You need to do this. It's a pretty thankless task, this bit. Since it's a river that's janky, I need to go through the entire area. This is bloody exciting to watching it. But you guys at home, whatever you're doing, you could be carry on doing digging out your area or whatever you're doing. If you don't have a frozen lake, you may have the opposite actually. You may have a dry one, in which case it might dry out on occasion. But at the moment I need to do this entire friggin' area to stop my dwarves randomly walking into the river. And this basically saves their lives. And trust me, it happens all the sodding time in this game. So it's something that as soon as I spot a freezing area, I just have to cover it off, because then they're dead and they're in the water and you can't get the corpse until it freezes over again. So you have to dig out the corpse to get it, and by that time you've gone through the 4 seasons, and they'll be haunting your dungeon, your fortress, and that spooks your dwarfs. Doesn't do too many bad things. Gets a little worse if it depends on the dwarf. Depends on the haunting and all that. But yes, you need to build coffins for dwarfs. And you need to lay them to rest correctly. Why else? Of course. So, apologies for the thoroughly exciting coverage that I'm giving you right now of laying out this. Alright, bit of a Warshack test maybe on this area above. What the hell does that look like? It looks like a face. What is this? This looks like some sort of face going on here. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I've been watching that Evil Within earlier today. Looks a pretty good game. Oops. So once I've done all this, basically the dwarves won't cross over any of these restricted zones. They won't walk in it. So theoretically, they won't drown when it unfreezes. But we'll see. Apologies for the clicky keyboard as well. I've brought my full-on mechanical job along with me. I don't like using the laptop keyboard too much, so you're getting all of the clicks of every little thing I do. Oh, you son of a bitch. There we go. Right. The problem is, no time passes while I'm doing that either. So that's not actually helped dig out this area down below any faster. But we have got this one. Okay, so let's build some workshops. Build workshop, and we want a stone. What should we go with? Craft dwarf or no? We don't want a craft dwarf yet. We want a. Where are you? Why can't I find you? Mason's workshop. M. BWM. There's a lot of hematite in here, which is awesome. So I'm going to do 2 of those as well. You may notice a pattern in the way I'm building. I'm going to use andesite again. So, alright, so we want some stone. We want some stone storage in here. And let's whack it over here. Let's make it look nice at least. We also want no metal ores in there, no economic ores in there. We just want other stone. We don't want no other stuff like that. You also have another option in here. Because it's big heavy stuff, we want wheelbarrows. So we want to add some wheelbarrows. W. So that's 3 is the maximum. So we'll have a bunch of wheelbarrows in there. Alright, so now we've got wheelbarrows. We need to make some wheelbarrows. So let's go into our woodworker and say, can we have some wheelbarrows, please? So basically, stone's heavy, takes a lot slower to move. They can build it with wheelbarrows. Away they go. I'm just going to put this on repeat. This is the still brew drink. I'm going to put that on repeat. So that's going to make sure it uses up. That's going to use up all the plump elements, isn't it? That's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Let's take that off repeat. I just want a bunch of them there because at the moment that's all the food. No, I've got other foods. That's alright. I've got meat. Alright, they're still digging. They're working. They're doing their stuff. They're going to carry on. Other guys are going to bring all the stone in. You can see they're starting to bring the stone in. It's great. Slows things down a fair bit, but it's the opening of the game. It's always going to be a little bit slower. So things are going along. We've got a bunch of animals up here. We need to use those. Get those out of the way. So see them all hanging around our start area. We may have a bunch of them. So what we're going to do, we're going to pasteurize them. That puts them in a set area, and then we're going to build like nest boxes and stuff like that for the chickens and stuff to do eggs. So I is the key we want this time, which is zoning. Fairly new one actually, fairly new key they brought into it. I'm going to go exactly the same like the above there, you know. And so that's painted the area, and now I want to make it a pet pen pasture. So N and then capital N. So shift and N will allow you to set the area up. So I basically want all the turkey hens in here. We've got a bunch of turkey hens that they've given us at the start. Yak bull as well, and a water buffalo. Dogs and cats I'm fine now, they can go do what they want. Until they get out of control. Later on, cats and dogs will breed like crazy, and sadly you'll need to start killing cats. Because there's just too many of them. So that's going to move them over. You can see they're being dragged over by the farmer. He's pulling them over, pulling them over. There we go, dumping them all in the area. So they're all going to stay in this area now, which is good. That keeps them out of there. Next up, we need. They're going to dig this bit out, which is good. Aha, that's built. Done as well. So let's build another workshop. We want a craft dwarf workshop, which is R, BWR, and we're going to whack them in here as well. We'll do andesite for that. What does a craft dwarf workshop and what does a mason's workshop do? What's the difference? So mason's workshop, it's the ones I built above, BWM. They basically this is furniture. So why do we want furniture? Basically, you want to keep dwarfs happy. You need to give them bedrooms, you need to give nobles fancy areas, and you need a big meeting hall, which is all nice and fancy. So to do that, you need a bunch of furniture. So you need tables, you need chairs, which are called thrones in this. You also need cabinets and coffers, which is basically a coffer as in a chest drawer, a chest. Yeah, basically I can't think of the actual other word for it other than chest. Think of an RPG, you find a chest, there's loot in it, that's what you're getting. One of them things. And a cabinet obviously is a chest of drawers. Simple as that. So, since we're about to build a bunch of beds, which we've already done, we also want to get a bunch of coffers and a bunch of cabinets. So that is add a task, which is Q, we'll query over it, add a task, and cabinet is F, coffer is H. So I'm going to build 10 cabinets in that one, and 10 coffers in that one, and then I know what I'm getting. And they're going to come out, he's going to use the rocks from here, and away he goes. Why did you just suspend creating that workshop? I do not know. Couldn't move a rock maybe? Not too sure. A snowstorm approaches. Wow. I'm in a cold area. So that's not going to make my dwarves happy. They really need to get this meeting hall up and running, don't they? Because that's going to, you can see everything's completely frozen on the river now. It's all completely gone. But this also creates a problem. So now, what I'm going to need eventually is an underground water source, because there's no water right now. So if I run out of these 100 drinks I've got because I brewed drinks, they would have no water sources at all, and suddenly shit goes wrong, things spiral out of control, and it doesn't get very pretty from there on in. Righty then, what was I building here? Was going to be the next workshop for the butcher, which is Butcher and Tanner, U and N. Butcher. Much better just using the letters than I am actually looking for them. And N. Build them right next to each other, can be in the same room, whatever. I'm going to build 2 Tanners and 2 Butchers. Not that you really need 2, but what the hell, for the sake of doing it right now. So that's basically going to kill the animals. The hunter's going to go around, he's going to find things, they'll bring them back here, the butcher will cut them up and make meat. There's always going to be a skin on them, so that's why you need the tanner next door, so then he will skin it and suddenly you've got leather. Awesome stuff. Nice, quick and easy to do. And once that's dug that up there, I'm actually not giving myself much space, did I? Didn't think that through too thoroughly. May have a bit of a problem later on. Oh well, we can work around that. Snowstorm's cleared, thank God. It was doing my ears in. This is for some reason suspended. Alright, I don't know why that's not building that workshop. Let's rebuild it. Sometimes it just happens. I'm sure something's probably in the way. So that's been built. So this is a craft dwarf workshop. What do we want to do with that? We want to make rock crafts. So this is basically, I'm going to put that on repeat. This is our money from the start. This is how we're going to create and generate profit early on. So we also need to put, of course, a bunch of stones in here. I'm going to actually fill this one full of stones. This is again going to be stones. We don't want no metal ores in there. We don't want no economic ores or clay. I am happy with any goddamn stone in there, because that guy is going to churn out all of the finished goods. Finished goods, what are they? They are indeed, literally, like I said, our money source this early in the game. And let's put another entrance and stuff in there so they can dig that out in a moment. So you can see the tanners have been built. There's not a lot we can do there. That'll automate it itself. You don't need to do anything, you don't need to worry about it. The butcher's place will all be automated, so the hunter will go out, kill a creature and come back, and hey presto, he's suddenly managed to get that creature with a bunch of meat. The thing I'm after is not in there. I need to get that craft rebuilt. Want a little bit of wood in here. I didn't tell you to use wheelbarrows in here, did I? Galena and that. I really need to find some flux stones and get my industry growing pretty early on. I think that's what I'm going to do. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get some bedrooms down here. Alright, let's get bedrooms going. So I do pretty quick and dirty bedrooms. So a couple of patches ago, well actually it was a hell of a lot of patches ago now because we flew through the patches, vampires were introduced. I think they were in the base, not just masterwork. And so therefore I changed my bedroom system because I didn't put doors on the wall. I used to give them nice little rooms, nice little 3x3 spaces, plenty of space, which actually expands and creates a hell of a big area for your dwarves to live in. So I've changed that. I now do straightforward. As you can see, it's 4 doors. So what I actually put is a bed, a coffer, a cabinet, and that's it. If you want to put a door on, you can. It's space. But this is really quick and simple. And as you can see immediately, that's 10 bedrooms, 20 bedrooms. Easy. We've only got 7 dwarves at the moment, so that's fine. Migrants will begin arriving shortly. So you need to get more space. At the moment, I've just got bedrooms stacked around. I really didn't put much thought into how I was doing this top area, did I? I normally put a moat around my place. At the moment, I am pretty screwed on space, or it's going to be a gigantic moat, which is what it's going to be. Boom, there we go. Alright. Big moat it is. Why not? We'll have a big ground base for the fortress. Can that fit? Yes! Perfect! Shit, that's not a tree, is it? Ooh, maybe not so perfect. Tree. Let's take these trees down over it. We'll see. Might be a bit big. So, where are we going? Where are we going? What are we doing? We are in need of more alcohol. Just going to use those plants. Every time I just see plants out here, I'm just going to keep brewing the alcohol. I actually don't have a food storage place yet. Proper food storage, which is why you can see the pile of drink on there right now. Which is why I'm trying to dig down here and get this going. I'm basically getting about 10 steps ahead of myself, and my miners are just like, give me a break, bro. Can't dig this quick. So they are building that. They've done that, they've done that. I'm going to start getting some rock blocks. So, what the hell are rock blocks, you say? Why are you doing rock blocks? What the hell are they for? I use rock blocks to create. So basically it cuts one rock into 4 blocks, I want to say. I think it's 4 blocks. And what I'm going to do is use a bit of a storage. And since this is around about here, holy shit, this really is a big area. Let's get rid of, I don't want metal, I don't want that, I just want stone blocks up here. That's all we're going to get. So all those rock blocks, they're going to cut them down and they're going to bring them up here. Why do I need them up here? Because I'm going to build a fortress. That's the point. We need a big ass fortress area, and that's why I was saying I need this entire footprint built out as a fortress, which is pretty gigantic and a lot of stone. So I may have gone a little bit too big here. It may take a while. I may need to start smaller before things start coming at me. We'll see, we'll see. There's time yet. Right, let's show you while they're digging that out. Oh, that's alright, that's done. Right, I've got space for another big farm plot there, so that's fine. I can dig them out. There's going to be space for a couple more farm plots, so we've got plenty of space for farms if we need it. That's going to be furniture and goods storage when that gets finally dug out. And the bedrooms are done. Okay, let's build some beds. B, place, which is build. Again, instead of workshops, we're going to bed. You can see it on the list here. B, B. Dead easy. B, B. Boom. There you are. You can see we built 10 of them earlier on, so we can already stock this out. It's the very first thing we built. Just smack them in there. Done. Bed's done. Also, if I recall, these are pretty much done as well up here. They are... There's a couple of coffers still to go. All the cabinets have been done as well, so we can go back down there and build the cabinets, which are H, I think. No, that's the containers. I may have got the wrong one. Yes, I have. But I do want to actually put the coffers down first. It should go in there. I've only got one more because they still need to be built, and the cabinets will go here. Cabinet, 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 cabinet. There we go. So the dwarfs are now bring them down. They're going to bring them down in a moment. And these will be the bedrooms once they get down. Here you go. You can bring the cabinet down. You may occasionally get a message where it's just like, no, I can't do that. Based on, I don't know, a rock being in the way, something like that. Simply just cancel it. Cancel the build order, rebuild it, and it will come down and figure it out. It's just, sometimes it gets stuck, sometimes it figures it out. It'll suspend the build order. You'll get a little message come up on the bottom here, a red one. If you ever want to look at it, and this is like a big thing you'll always be doing, is press A and look at the announcements. You can see a couple of red writings here where they're saying, there you go, item blocking the site. So that was one of the things where they couldn't build that Crafts Dwarfs place. It's actually gone again. So something is in its way. Don't exactly know what. Oh, it's still doing it this time around. Did I put a leather workers there? Idiot. BWR. And the site. Built the wrong thing there in the first place. Good job it didn't finish hitting it. So there's the beds. They're coming in. And what we're going to do is we're going to make these bedrooms once they all get placed in there. Just went in for our dwarves. See how quick that guy was going there? He just came in with a wheelbarrow, picked up the stone and took it straight away. So it is much faster to take it with a wheelbarrow than to carry it. Look how slow this guy's going. He's carrying the rock cabinet. It also means he's a wussy because that guy came in, so he's clearly much stronger. So individual attributes, strengths, etc., they all have them. This guy's zipping in and out because it's only a wooden bed. He seems to have a cat pet which is following him. They're placing all of the beds. Once they're placed, I can start making a bunch of bedrooms. This guy's not very quick, is he? What if he's wounded? No, not wounded, just a pussy. Confirmed. Rock blocks are starting to be brought up here now, so we're going to use them shortly to start creating the walls around the fortress. Getting there eventually. I need to create a steel industry at some point soon. Ah, here we go. So we couldn't put the bed there. So what was happening was he wanted to move this rock. He may actually have to completely get rid of it. He wanted to move this rock, but there was another guy placing that next to him. So he went, oh, I can't do it, and then he just panicked and cancelled and ditched the bed. So as soon as he comes back and figures that out, hopefully he'll replace it. There you go, the rock's been taken away, so we shouldn't have a problem doing it next time. I've unsuspended the job. All you need to do if it's suspended is just go back over it and press S. It will unsuspend it. Right now the suspense is actually killing me. Are we going to get any more of these? Have we got any more containers? Yes we do, they've all been built. That's good. There's the bed placed. Excellent. Right, so let's make bedrooms. So Q once again, always as always. You can see simple in the corner. R, make bedroom. Boom, enter. It's just saying the size. You can increase it to there if you really want to, but what the hell's the point? And that's it. Dead easy. R, make bedroom. Look at the options once you get it. You can assign the bedroom to someone. You can make it a free bed. You can make it a barracks or a dormitory. or just resize the room. We just want to simply do that. I want to leave them as 3 bedrooms. I'm not going to assign it to anyone. That way the dwarves will individually come down themselves and claim a bedroom. When they want to sleep, they'll now come down here and say, thank you very much, I've got a bed to sleep in, instead of sleeping up here, which is what they're doing at the moment. They're sleeping up in this area at the top here. So because I have to scroll down a bunch of times, you may notice I'm having to go hammer through the keys, which is what I'm doing at the moment. Don't really like doing that. So what we're going to do is going to assign a hotkey. To do that, it is simply over here, H, hotkeys, so Shift H, hotkey F2, that's going to move it down to there. I'm going to make this a zoom area, so Z, zoom here. You can see it's now got the zoom highlighted. I'm also going to name it and call it meeting, because I'm going to put my meeting halls here. So now I can escape from that, and now I can do F1 to go up the top, F2 will go down the bottom. And you can do that for as many as you want, to the metal industries, to whatever areas you fancy setting up, they can do it too. Dead easy. So, shall we get the metal industry underway in a moment? I think we're a little ahead of ourselves first. Let's get a furniture storage in there. All the furniture can go in there. Oops. Finished goods can go in there. Once they dig that out. That's going to be good. We'll do possibly the metal industry below, and we'll figure out as we go. Meeting hall needs to be dug out, which is going to be here. I think I'm going to throw it in there. Yep, looking good so far. Things look, oh, there we go. The river is starting to unfreeze, and things are starting to tick along nicely. Food's working itself. Ever unsure, something you're always going to check as you're going along is press Z. Look at your stocks, look at your stocks. You can see I've got 200 drink, that's good, but I've actually only got 9 plants and 40 food, so I'm pretty low on food right now. So I need to get that remedied with hopefully this crafts plate that's been built. I want to build some wooden bolts. I'm going to get a bunch of them built. So the guy that's doing the crossbow, the hunter, he's got a bunch more new ammunition and he can go out and do his thing. This dug down, and yes, okay, it didn't create a hole opportunity, which is what I was worried about. It's getting there. The fortress is slowly getting there, but we are completely defenseless right now. I could do create a much more beds for the next array of visitors that are going to be coming shortly. And this is where you got to start getting things along. I'm going to make a bunch of more coffers and a bunch more cabinets as well. Go along with that. Slowly, surely though, starting to get there. Let's get on to the next video, because I think I want to get in towards the metal industry. Actually, probably, yeah, we'll start the metal industry digging out, but we need to start getting our fortress actually looking like a fortress and get a bit of defenses around it. So that's going to be called cage traps and get the mechanic in there and stuff like that. We'll get things underway next video. Cheers for watching, guys.